G'day guys, and welcome to another review which I've got the final game of the first week of the final series. Sydney, the Bombers at the SCG, as you can see the score on here. Sydney massive winners, 65 points, victors in the end, absolutely giving the Bombers a lesson at home. And look, it was a disappointing performance for the Bombers. They were quite promising throughout the year, played some pretty good footy. We're up by 19 points with 4 minutes to go in the game earlier in this year against these two sides, and lost that one by a point. Polar opposite here, it was Sydney by a length of a mile, if that. All sort of happening in the second term, fell apart for the Bombers, but look, early on it was a real scrap. Bombers, I think they laid nearly 40 tackles in the first quarter, I heard, which is amazing pressure, and the Swans didn't do too much damage on the scoreboard. The Bombers bad kicking early didn't help them out, as you can see there. The 1-goal 3 didn't really help their chances early on, unfortunately. And big mark by Danaher to start things off, but then it sort of tailed away from that. And Sydney they just play with amazing confidence, great stride about them, and the way they go about it, just amazing how they keep this up. They've won 15 of the last 17 games, I'm pretty sure. They lost to Hawthorn, and of course they're not playing in the 8. Their transformation between being 0 and 6 to now is unfathomable. Really, they're a class act, and I don't know where this was in the first 6 weeks, because we all knew this is the footy they could play. But anyway, second quarter was where it was really won and lost. Sydney blew the game apart. It was over at half time, probably halfway through that second term. They just piled on goal after goal. Their pressure was immense, and they were just amazing in the air. They were just so clean and so silky with the ball. They couldn't do anything wrong, it seems. So, Buddy Franklin, massive in that second term as well. I think he kicked 4 in the second term, I believe. I have to 100% check that. But look, that's where the game was right there, guys. That's that's where they didn't quite come to play. We can have a look at a few stats here as well while I just discuss the game. But Sydney couldn't do a thing wrong. They were intercepting everything Essendon had. Even when Essendon were trying to do that run and carry off half-back, they were turning it over by Sydney's perceived pressure, and also just Sydney's system with how they set up behind the ball. They just really outworked Essendon, outmarked them in the air. They were probably as good as I've seen them in the air for quite some time. They were just holding everything. They were holding marks and using the ball sensationally well, which aided them into a very big victory in the end, and really capitalising off Essendon's youth and turnovers big time. We can have a look here, a couple of interesting stats here. Same amount of disposals, so it's so interesting when a team gets flogged and they have similar disposals. It just shows that one side is so much better than the other, much more efficient, and that is exactly what Sydney are. 54 inside 50s and nearly 20 goals. Not bad on a nice Saturday afternoon. And won the clearances. It looked like they were just constantly getting the standing clearances, and that's where the game was really going apart from the Bombers. The Swans were just getting clearances around the ground, and especially out of the centre. They'd move the ball so quickly and into their forwards, which it's quite a potent forward line when they move it in there quickly, and generally they create enough space for for most players to get on the end of something, and they're very creative, and they know how to take the moment, that's for sure. And even with injured players, they still find a way. So, yeah, got the clearances done, and probably even if Essendon were closer, it would just, again, show the fact that Sydney much more efficient and more dominant and effective stoppages at the very least. Inside 50s, Essendon couldn't get it in there. That's pretty similar to the Geelong and Richmond on the Friday night, where just not enough supply for the forwards. Danaher did well for the Bombers in saying all that. Sydney just got enough entries, and that's, again, all happens from the coalface. Their midfield was just so much better than the Bombers in the end. After a reasonable start from Essendon, contested possessions are pretty similar. Bombers out-tackled them, but that means they're second to the ball. But yeah, their effort certainly was there. Sydney, again, as I keep saying, that second turn, they really turned on the afterburners and really blew the game away. Game over, half-time, and then Sydney just managed it over the course of the game, and they just held the Bombers to another 5 goals. They're great at keeping teams around 60 points, Sydney. Geelong haven't kicked more than 60 points, I think, the last few times. Quite amazing, which I'll touch on a bit later on. But that was the crux of it. Sydney were just much better, and I think it's their premiership to lose, in my opinion. So I've been saying that for a number of weeks, probably the last 7 or 8 weeks, not just this week. If you've been listening to my tips videos, guys, I've got that in there. But we'll move into the votes, and it's all Sydney here. Hurley, some great numbers there, but didn't really make a great impact in one-on-one. He was found wanting at times, as well as Sinclair getting on top of him. But look, he was a bit sore as well, Hurley, I think. But some good numbers, but not amazing impact, at least from memory. Josh Kennedy, 29 touches, 3 marks, 5 tackles and 2 goals next to his name. Just amazing, this bloke. He gets the 3 votes to mine. As I always say, he's a beast around the contest. Really sets up and Sydney's play very well. They just walk a lot taller when he's on top, and he would have been feeling after the first 6 weeks, what am I doing? Was it the right call for them to put me as captain? Should I put my hand up? And really, he's just turned on a 5-cent piece there, just really used the ball well, and kicked some critical goals as well in that amazing second term. I'll give the 2 votes to Luke Parker as well. Speaking of great aerialists, he got the 27 touches that we got here and 3 marks. Got a few free kicks, 7 tackles next to his name. Again, just another guy that's really strong around the coalface, and just a great leader for the Swans in the middle, setting up play and just being a really dominant force in the areas that mattered most for Sydney. I'll give him the 1 vote, and he's not in the top 20. No, wow, we got him here, down the bottom of the list. Lance Franklin. He got the 8 touches, 3 marks, but he kicked 4 goals in the second term on 1 leg, unbelievably. I don't like Lance Franklin, and for those of you that watch me regularly, I'm not a fan of him. I mean, yep, he's one of the best forwards of all time. It's great, all good there. But personally, not a big fan of him. Admire what he can do. Doesn't mean I like him though. 4 goals though on 1 leg when the game was there to be won. Simply outstanding effort. So look, great credit to Buddy Franklin there to get the job done, get a few snags on the board, and certainly that helped Sydney a long way. Would have given them great confidence knowing their star forward, even though he's a little bit sore. He still found a way and got Sydney across the line in a big way, looking by those stats, and I didn't see the full game, I saw pretty much most of it. He must have been rested well after half time to hopefully get him cherry ripe for the Cats. So those are my votes, and I guess a bit of a player review for Sydney and the Bombers. Obviously the Bombers are out of the 8, not out of the 8, they're out of the finals race. And for Sydney, I guess the conundrum is obviously Reid, Tippett and Naismith and those guys who comes in. I think Sinclair's another one as well, who played really well. He got 3 goals, 10 disposals, and 9 marks. He's really worked on his marking. It's been pretty well documented there. Big shout out for Callum Sinclair. I rated him quite highly at West Coast, and he's done a fantastic job just improving those hands and really hitting the scoreboard. And I wouldn't have thought to think of him as a key forward. I normally think maybe Ruckman resting key forward, but look, he's come on in spades and done a great job there. Big shout out to Callum Sinclair. He'll be invaluable. But in terms of the outs, we'll have a look at the injury report. There might not be too much coming out of that one. Medical room, what have we got? No issues. Gary Rowan a little bit sore. And obviously Malikan would be a player that I'd consider coming back if he's okay from the quad. Franklin obviously got that hit to his quad, thanks to Brendan Goddard. I reckon it was a pretty deliberate ploy there, sneaky Brendan. But look, Malikan would be a chance in terms of who would come out. It's very interesting. Dane Rampy, right at the bottom of the list. I thought he was really good. Danaher did kick a few, but there you go. So, looking for who would come in for Malikan. It's very tough to say here from the list. I wouldn't think Sydney would be making too many changes based off a winning team. I think Cunningham was the laid in for Malikan, so they may do a swap there. They may keep the setup they've got potentially with Cunningham. Got a bit of speed there, but I think it depends on how the players pull up throughout the week, if there's any other injuries there. But I don't think Sydney will be changing too much. And they've got a massive game coming up against Geelong, and we can have a look at this one right here, right now. And we'll just click into that one. Sydney have just had our measure for weeks, not for weeks, on multiple occasions the last few, and I'll scroll down in a sec, but they love us. They love playing us because they beat us all the time now. remember when we used to beat them, and yeah, we used to struggle against them, and then had a dominant record. Might have won 9 in a row against them, and they've just come back and really taught us a lesson. Didn't play them in too many finals when we were probably at our absolute peak, because they were hovering around the 8 and we were up the top of the 8, so didn't really get too many chances to play them. As you can see here, Simmons Stadium last time, 46-point victors, 37 at the G, 38 at Simmons, and look, we got them in 2015 the last time that we actually got a win on the board against them, and they tore us a new one in that ANZ the time before that. So they won 5 of the last 6. We finished second, they finished 6th, but they probably deserve to be where we are, and we deserve to be where they are at the moment. But maybe not. I'm not sure. But look, this will be monstrous. They won't have the teams out yet because I'm doing this too early in the week. But look, I'd be shocked if we got anywhere near Sydney. I would reckon Sydney by 52 points, at least beyond 8 goals. I think they just hit their straps at the right time. I do think, though, they do need some stage of down period. They had their first 6 weeks, which was absolutely horrific. A couple of close losses, but they just have not been down at all. A couple of little blips against Hawthorn. Only a goal in it, though. You just wonder when they're eventually going to come down. I just don't know. They're probably not. Maybe they won't win the flag, and they certainly, for the meantime, are my flag favourites. They just have a great system. They are built for finals footy. They give you commitment every single week. You can never question their effort and their endeavour. They've got, as I said, an awesome system that just works for them. Defensive pressure that they apply can really suffocate oppositions, and they've done that for many years, not just this year. So they're incredibly tough to beat. And look, Geelong, Menzel will probably come back in. I don't think it's really the players that are playing, but more so the system we come up with against Sydney. I would like to see some kind of change against them, because the last few times they've absolutely blown us out of the water. They're a big first quarter side, Sydney, and we have to just be mindful and watch out for that. And really, I'd like us to come out firing, and I expect us to be really fiery early on. I hope that continues, but Sydney just forever come out firing us, forever kicking 6 or 7 goals in the opening term to either zilch or a couple of goals, and they just take us clean every time. So want something bold and brave from the boys. Hopefully Scotty and his coaching group can come up with something miraculous and pull something out of the hat. But look, yeah, Sydney will be winning this one very easily, in my opinion. Heart to heart, I'm a big Cats fan, passionate as you can get. But look, you've got to be realistic as well, and accept the challenge that is coming up against us. And Sydney, well, I think it's their flag to lose. So look, we'll find a lot about these two teams Friday night. It'll be a massive game. We might be not expecting a great deal from us, but see what happens. Won't be too negative yet. But look, that'll be the review of the Sydney and the Essendon game, which was on the Saturday afternoon. A big win from the Swans, getting home by 65 points. As we can see, they just absolutely blew Essendon out of the water, and they'll take some beating, that's for sure. So hope you've enjoyed this review, and look, I'll be keen to do the other reviews in the final series as well. I've finally completed the first 4. Taking me a little bit of time, but got there in the end. Thanks for hanging around, guys, and feel free to give the video a like and subscribe for more of this. It'd be great. It'd be amazing. It keeps me going, keeps the channel going. It's a subscription, so keep that up. That'd be awesome. Thanks for hanging around again, guys. I'll see you all next time.